everyone. It's always exciting to be back on your TV screen, sharing incredible stories of those who made it through the storm. Welcome to You Were There. Sarah was moved with compassion to help a little boy in need, but she was a student in a foreign country with limited resources. How could she possibly help someone else? Well, the answer to that question is in our first story, so stay tuned.
Many of us get very frightened when we hear that word commitment. And honestly, I don't blame you, because commitments can be very scary. I mean, once you get into it, once you make that decision, there's no going back. In 2015, I was a full-time student in the US, and I wasn't working, no job, no income whatsoever. I was fully sponsored by my parents, and it was a great privilege. One day I was doing a research project and I was going through the web, doing my stuff. And then I came across this ad. It was a picture of orphans and vulnerable children in Asia. So I was like, oh wow, let me find out what this is about. I clicked on the ad and it took me to a homepage, and it was so compelling. I saw stories of children that were just in need. It's basically for normal things like $10 a day to just, take care of their needs. And I decided that this was the kind of thing I love to do. Immediately I thought about that. Another voice told me in my head, on what allowance? Basically, the money I was receiving was just enough to cover my needs for a month, and I didn't think it was possible to do it. But I shrugged it off and I decided to do it anyway. I immediately went to the site, put in my card details, and sent a standing order to the bank to take the money out monthly. I want to tell you that, I love the decision and everything, and it was fruitful, but man, there were days I regretted that decision. Some way, somehow though, God sustained me through the entire process, and I was happy. One day, I was coming back from a class and I decided that I needed to pick up my mail from my mailbox. So I went in, got my mail, and went to my house. I flipped through the junk mails and everything, and then I saw one strange letter. It had my name written on the envelope in a child's handwriting. So I was like, what is this? I opened it and it was a letter from Christian, the boy I had decided to sponsor. He was a 5-year-old child from the Philippines, and he had written this beautiful letter about how my giving had changed his life completely. He was going to school, he was being fed daily at the center, he was learning to read and write, meeting new people, and it was so amazing. I did not know when tears started coming down my eyes. He was so happy, and he was expressing how he would love to meet me someday in the future. I knew that I would probably never get to meet this boy ever, but the joy that overwhelmed my heart, I was deeply fulfilled. I just felt satisfied at that point. Many times we want to do things like this, but we're so scared about what will happen if we do and how we'll be able to sustain ourselves. But just making that decision to step out and then receiving Christian's letter was like everything. When I came back to Nigeria, I decided that I wanted to do it for a child back home, right here. And so I joined the 700 Club Nigeria. And every time I get that message from the bank that this money has been deducted, I'm so happy, because I know that somebody is being fed, somebody is learning, somebody is being treated, somebody's need is being met. And this is the joy of my life, literally, knowing that I'm living my life not just for myself, but for others. You can experience that same joy that I experience now every single day, because life is best lived, poured out in the service of others.
Thank you, Sarah, for moving beyond your limitation to be a blessing. God bless you, and God bless every partner who has chosen to touch lives, even when it was hard to. Indeed, no distance is too far, no community is out of reach. CBN partners travel far and wide to reach the world. Our next stop is Accra, Ghana, right in Akwani Dobro community. I hope you're ready.
For over 20 years, the Christian Broadcasting Network Africa has been in the forefront of providing humanitarian assistance to the rural and urban communities in Ghana. Hundreds of thousands of people have benefited from our medical outreaches, and many more have drunk from the water wells provided by the partners of CBN, the 700 Club members. Recently, a team of producers from the Nigeria office of CBN Africa visited Ghana. Together with their colleagues in Accra, they toured some of the communities that had benefited from the Living Water Wells project of CBN. About an hour's drive from the Accra city center is a rustic community with some very friendly and hard-working people.
We are in Akwanedobro in the Eastern region of Ghana. CBN provided this community with a potable water well. Today we are here to assess how it has impacted on their lives.
But first, a visit to the stream that was once the only source of water here. For years, this was the major source of water for Akwanedobro community. The stream wasn't quite as green, but with the development of this road, it has become more stagnant and sinister looking. Every morning, the women and school children would gather here to get some of this water for domestic chores. If they did not spend precious time and energy to treat the water, there was only going to be one outcome.
We had no choice. The water made us sick, but we had to drink it anyway.
We're having a problem with the guinea worm, diarrhea, cholera, and other river diseases. Yeah, because it's contaminated. So when you take it, it gives us a lot of problems. Sometimes skin rashes and other things.
It would dry up in the dry season, and we had to dig into the ground to get water. It was difficult.
But some years ago, just as we had done in many other parts of Ghana, Operation Blessing, the humanitarian arm of the Christian Broadcasting Network, was in Akwanedobro to commission this water well.
In fact, it was a day that this community will continue to remember, because we were so happy. It was joyful everywhere. Everybody was happy. The entire community were here to see this fresh water coming from the well. In fact, we were happy.
Now the water flows, and the hard-working men, women and children are happy.
We suffered a lot before you gave us this well, but now we are happy. The diseases have greatly reduced too, but we need more wells as the population has increased here.
We don't go far to fetch water again. We are happy.
Oh, I feel very happy for them to establish this well for us. So it enables us to go to school early, which enables us to learn better.
It's good for drinking, good for everything, and it doesn't give us a problem that we need to get. And then the other one, you know, when it rains heavily, it becomes dirty, and in the dry season too, it becomes dirty. Sometimes it tends to greenish, but we don't have no alternative to use it that way. But this one is clean always, so it's good for us. Good for the people.
A few kilometers away from Akwanedobro is another beneficiary community of the Obi Living Water Wells project. Esiokram, like most parts of Ghana, is rich in fertile lands and refreshing agricultural produce. But for them, this stream provided the only source of water to sustain life, though sourcing water from here came at a price.
The water made us sick. We had waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, skin infections, and guinea worm.
If you live where there is no good source of water, life becomes unbearable.
When CBN heard of their plight, our partners, members of the 700 Club, mobilized resources and established this water well for the community.
The day the well was dedicated, we were very happy. Right now, everyone in the village fetches from this pump.
I was born in this village, and I never dreamt that one day we would have such a facility. I thank God.
Thank you, CBN. Thank you very much.
I encourage everyone who has the means to always reach out to those in need.
Esiokram is a very hospitable community, and they would not let the team go until we savored a special treat from the palm groves that surround every home here. As we round off the visit, The councillor representing the area expresses the gratitude of the benefiting communities.
CBN is so reliable. They've done it for us. I know they can do more for us and do it for other communities as well. So I recommend them to everybody to partner with them when it comes to development issues.
Did you hear those words from James Sawyer? If you live where there's no water, life becomes unbearable. And that was the story of the residents of this village until you came along. Thank you, partners, for rewriting their stories. Now they can live happier and healthier lives. May God bless you. The train of hope keeps moving, and this time it stops right in the home of Achia in Uganda. You're going to want to see this.
Every morning, Achia walked under a huge fig tree just outside her house on her way to fetch water.
After my husband died, I was left to care for my boys by myself. They are still too young to carry water or help me with any chores. So each day is a struggle. I do everything alone.
When I met Achia, she told me about how hard she works taking care of her family. From chopping and carrying wood to harvesting grass to make thatch roofs or sell in the market, she works tirelessly day in and day out. But she still made time to start a garden to help feed her children.
I bought seeds, believing that the rain would come. I love gardening, but the sun burnt my crops.
In times of drought, shallow wells like these dry up or get contaminated by livestock. Many people get sick with diseases like typhoid and cholera from contaminated water. Achia was one of them.
The pain starts in my spine, then moves from my neck to my head. Sometimes I have to lie down for days, waiting for the pain to go away. But when I see my children hungry and thirsty, I force myself to get up.
But on one occasion, Achia couldn't get up.
I needed to cook for the children, but I was too weak to fetch water so far away. We all went to bed hungry and thirsty.
Then, Innovation Africa, an Israeli ministry supported by CBN, arrived with trucks and started drilling. Soon, they hit crystal clear water, and a tap was installed right outside Achia's house.
I couldn't believe the tap was right there. I feel like jumping up and praising God. I'll never have to walk long distances for water again.
The well is too deep to pump water by hand, so solar panels were installed to run an electrical pump. The well is so deep, it should never run dry, even in the worst drought. And it should never get contaminated.
I no longer worry that we will get sick from drinking the bad water. Those diseases cannot attack us anymore. My boys can finally enjoy safe, clean water right by our house. We can be clean and even wash.
Achia immediately started feeling much better. And with the water so close by, her garden blossomed.
I forgot about the loss of my burnt crops and tried again. With water this close, we can do anything. We no longer have to buy vegetables. We grow them ourselves. God sent you to answer our prayers. You rescued us. Thank you, CBN. May God bless you all.
I can only imagine the joy in the children's hearts and the impact on their health, all because 1, 2, or more people came together to make it happen. Now, Achia can live healthy and take good care of her boys. Thank you, CBN partners. Your gift of love is truly invaluable. Imagine being the reason lives are saved just by providing clean water. A lot of rural communities have to drink from dirty ponds to survive. But you can change all that. With 1.5 million naira, you can dig a borehole and give them a new lease of life. You can also give monthly to support our other humanitarian projects. To begin, just log onto our website and fill our partnership form. Indicate your preferred level of partnership, ranging from 2,500 naira to 84,000 naira or more monthly. You can also call any of the numbers on your screen. It will be our great honor to welcome you on board. Now, You Were There will be back shortly. Do stay with us.
Life is a gift, and it offers us the privilege, opportunity, and responsibility to give something back as we become more. Many women, children, and families are suffering and in need, wondering where the next meal will come from. Lend a helping hand today. Be the strength when others are weak. Be the smile where others frown. Be the joy when there is so much pain. Be more. Join the 700 Club. Lend a helping hand to someone today.
A very warm welcome to everyone watching. We show you life-changing stories of those you have helped through your generous giving.
I say thank you to CBN.
You provided free surgeries for the helpless, clean water wells for many communities, empowered youth, women, and widows. For more heartwarming and life-transforming stories you made happen, watch episodes of You Were There on this channel.
Welcome back. Up next, a community gets a first-hand taste of what happens when CBN partners pay a visit.
For the inhabitants of Sabon, Gari, meaning New City, located in Nasarawa State, Nigeria, that name had finally taken on its real meaning. Unable to access clean drinking water for decades, the newly installed borewell had brought new life to the community. But that was just one part of the solution they needed. Many of the residents in this little village had to suffer through different kinds of pain and ailments because there was no medical facility in their community.
I cannot perform any task that requires me to bend my knees because they hurt so bad. I was given traditional herbs, but I did not feel any better. I find it difficult to sleep at night because of the pain.
I'm suffering from leg, eyes, and back pain. My body is usually hot. It feels like fire is burning all over.
The CBN medical team arrived at Sabon Gari with sufficient medical supplies to meet the needs of the expectant residents. The medical team swung into action, attending to the health needs of the people.
The motivation actually came purely out of compassion because we discovered that that community had some health challenges.
I feel so much joy as I have received drugs that will help me regain my health. I have been unable to farm for the past 5 years. I am so happy because the drugs were given for free.
At the end of the day, we were quite satisfied because the needs of the community were met.
What a life-changing event. Clean drinking water and access to basic health care does make a huge difference in any community. Thank you to all our partners for rewriting the history of individuals and whole communities. In our next story, we see your helping hand reach out to Yusuf in Maraba Kamuku. Take a look.
I tried to get a loan to enable me take my son to the hospital, but all to no avail.
I became very troubled about my child's condition.
This hopeless situation began when Bulus and his wife realized that their son needed surgery to get well. 10-year-old Yusuf loved to go to school and to play with friends, but a persistent stomach pain denied him of these rights that most children take for granted.
I noticed my boy was suffering from fever and was always complaining of stomach ache. I wondered what was wrong.
One day, while his mother was giving him a bath, she discovered something shocking.
She noticed there was a bulge around his pelvic region.
Bulus immediately rushed his boy to the hospital where he was diagnosed of hernia. The parents could not afford the cost of the surgery.
We began to pray and trust God for help.
Then they heard that the CBN humanitarian arm was conducting a medical mission in a village nearby. Bulus and his wife took their son and hurried as fast as they could to the center. They couldn't miss this life-changing opportunity, so they waited with hundreds of others to be treated by qualified doctors. Finally, it was Yusuf's turn to be attended to. After a thorough examination, he was scheduled for an operation. The CBN surgeons operated on Yusuf, and in no time, Yusuf was well again.
I am so grateful. My son was operated on at no cost.
I am very grateful. I feel like I am the one cured of this sickness. Thank you.
How does it feel to be the answer to someone's prayer? Yusuf got the operation he desperately needed at no cost. Thank you for restoring joy to their lives. Now Yusuf can focus on his studies like every other child. We'll take a short break, and after that, it's our feedback segment. Stay tuned.
Hello there. My name is Patrick Otaro, and I partner with CBN. The Christian Broadcasting Network is a humanitarian organization that brings living water and healthcare to communities, as well as loving care and shelter to orphans. Also, economic empowerment to widows. Join me today as we bring succor to our nation, Nigeria, and indeed, the world. God bless you.
Children danced for joy. You were there when the doctors came and saved their little boy. You were there to speak the truth, send the gospel near and far. You were there to change their lives right from where you are.
Thank you, CBN partners, for making a difference around the world. Your gift of love has changed life and eternity for millions.
When hurting hearts reach out and cry, does anybody care? You were the one who brought the gift. Thank God that you were there.
If you'd like to send us your comments, questions, or prayers, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at 700clubpartners_NJ and Twitter at 700club Nigeria. You'll also get sneak peeks into what's new from the CBN studios. So what are you waiting for? Check us out now. It's always a pleasure to be your host, and you were there. But until next time, it's goodbye from all of us here at the studio.